Go ahead, head to your kitchen and open up that spice rack. What do you see? A bunch of different flavors, right? But what if I told you that hiding on that shelf is this incredible story? A story of ancient empires, global exploration, and a choice you're making every single time you go to the store.
It's a beautiful sight, isn't it? All those colors and potential flavors. But tucked away in there is one spice in particular, one that launched 1,000 ships, that literally shaped economies, and holds a little secret that might just change how you see your pantry forever. So, let's start our journey with that very spice, cinnamon. And trust me, this isn't just about what you sprinkle on your oatmeal. This is about a force of nature that redrew the map of the entire world.
Cinnamon's history is just wild. In the ancient world, it was one of the very first spices ever to be traded globally. Then, you fast forward to the Middle Ages, and its ability to preserve food made it as valuable as gold in Europe. Seriously. And all that demand, it helped kick off the Age of Discovery, with explorers setting sail into the great unknown, all hunting for this one spice.
The desire for this simple brown bark was so intense, it helped push Christopher Columbus toward the Americas and Vasco da Gama toward India. Just think about that for a second. A spice so powerful, it literally altered the course of human history.
So this historical treasure is now something we all have. But this is where the story gets really interesting for us today, right in our own kitchens. We've got to talk about the truth about cinnamon, because it turns out not all of it is created equal, not by a long shot.
So, let me ask you straight up, do you have any idea which kind of cinnamon is sitting on your shelf right now? Because there's a very, very good chance it's not actually what you think it is.
Okay, let's meet the hero of our story, Ceylon cinnamon. Its scientific name is Cinnamomum verum, which literally translates to true cinnamon. How cool is that? It comes from a very specific tree that's native to Sri Lanka, and it's famous for this really delicate, almost floral, sweet flavor. So, how does this true cinnamon stack up against what's usually sold in stores? Well, the cheaper, much more common stuff is called cassia. Visually, Ceylon looks like thin, rolled-up layers of paper. Cassia? It's just one thick, hard piece of bark. Flavor-wise, Ceylon is sweet and delicate, while cassia has that strong, spicy kick you might be used to. But, and this is the most important part, cassia is high in a compound called coumarin. Ceylon, on the other hand, has almost none.
And when you see them next to each other, the difference is it's night and day. On the left, that's Ceylon. It looks like a fragile little cigar made of paper-thin layers. And on the right, you've got cassia, just a thick, hollow tube of bark. Once you see the difference, you really can't unsee it.
Okay, so how do you make sure you're getting the real deal? Well, let's take a look at a case study in authenticity. We're going to follow a company called Seiko to really understand that journey from the soil all the way to the shelf.
Seiko is a grower, a processor, and an exporter in Sri Lanka. And what makes them such a great example is that they're what's called vertically integrated. It's just a fancy way of saying they control everything, from the planting on their own 70-acre farms to the final package that gets shipped out. That means total quality control. And their process is just meticulous. First, everything's grown organically. Then comes the really amazing part. Skilled artisans harvest only the delicate inner bark and then hand-roll it into those perfect quills. After that, they're carefully graded, sun-dried the old-fashioned way, and finally packaged right there on site. That's how you guarantee it's authentic. And when you actually see these artisans at work, you get it. This is not an assembly line. This is a craft, a skill that's been passed down through generations, and it takes incredible precision and care to create those beautiful, paper-thin layers of true cinnamon. But the story doesn't stop with the spice itself. Let's zoom out a little, because this is about so much more than just the spice. It's really about the people and the principles behind the product. Seiko's commitment to their community is incredible. Get this, over half of their workforce are women, and many come from marginalized backgrounds. They also actively create opportunities for people with disabilities, they invest in local kids' health and education, and they're working to build a cooperative farming culture that lifts everybody up. And this isn't just talk. This commitment is officially recognized. Here's a certificate of appreciation they were awarded for their work in promoting employment for persons with disabilities, calling them a model for creating a more inclusive labor market in Sri Lanka. Now, to protect this amazing heritage, Ceylon cinnamon was granted what's called Protected Geographical Indication, or GI status, by the European Union in 2022. It's the same kind of protection that guarantees champagne can only come from Champagne, France, or that Parmesan has to come from a specific part of Italy.
It's a stamp of authenticity.
And not surprisingly, Seco was one of the very first exporters to get this official license. This certificate right here, it's a direct promise to you, the person buying it, that what you're getting is 100% authentic Ceylon cinnamon, straight from its home in Sri Lanka.
So, let's zoom out one last time and look at the future of flavor. How is this precious spice from a small island shaping a massive global market?
The numbers are just staggering. The global market for cinnamon was worth $5.5 billion in 2020. It's projected to more than triple to almost $19 billion by 2031. Demand is absolutely exploding as people everywhere look for natural flavors and health benefits.
And here's the really cool part. Even though it's a premium product, true Ceylon cinnamon is leading the way. In 2023, it held the biggest single slice of the global market at 43%. That tells you that consumers are starting to wake up and seek out quality.
And this all comes down to one single astounding fact: 90%. 90% of the entire world's supply of true cinnamon comes from just one place, the island of Sri Lanka. That makes protecting its heritage and its craft incredibly important for all of us.
So, as we've seen, the story of cinnamon is so much more than just flavor. It's this beautiful story that weaves together ancient history, modern health, and a real connection to the people and the land that produce it. And that brings us right back to your kitchen. The next time you're at the grocery store, you're armed with this knowledge. You understand the history, you get the health implications, and you know the difference you can spot with your own two eyes. So the choice is now yours. What are you going to look for?